Okay, so the first thing I ran into was that people said, this is nice, but I'm actually not interested in having a website. Why wouldn't you need a website for your business? That's pretty important. There's a lot more competition out there than I expected when I wrote up my business plan in abstract on a sheet of paper and said, hey, this will work. This is what I'm going to go after. Oh boy, did I wish I knew ahead of time everybody I was going to be competing with before I got into my business. And I don't just mean people who do the same thing that I do. I want others to avoid the mistake I made and anticipate what they're going to deal with and who they're going to compete with when they get into starting a business. Fortunately for me, I actually had an advantage in that I had two business mentors, the people that I bought my first business from, who were there to help guide me along the way and point out to me that there might be some things you want to think about in this path, because what you're talking about and who you're going to be competing with is not exactly the same thing. So eventually I just had to get started, because that's the thing that you need to do when you're starting a business. You don't sit back and wait and plan to death. You actually have to get started, because as Mike Tyson said, everybody's got a plan until they get punched in the nose. Or he said something like that. We jumped off and we started our web development company, New Media Retailer, doing websites, social media, email marketing, cutting edge, getting started doing something for people that nobody else was doing, right? In our market, nobody was really servicing this yet. That means I'm not going to have much competition. And even if it pops up, I'm going to have that early mover advantage. Is that going to be the case? Not exactly. Okay, so the first thing I ran into was that people said, this is nice, but I'm actually not interested in having a website. Okay, you don't need a website for your business? I thought I was solving a need. You don't have one. Why wouldn't you need a website for your business? That's pretty important. That was first, and I thought, wow, I didn't see that coming as an objection. Why is that? And we'll get to that in a minute. The next thing that came up is that people started saying, well, I have this that represents my business. What is this? Facebook. Facebook's not a website. What do you mean Facebook is your website? Facebook is a social media page. That doesn't do any SEO. It doesn't do any blogging. It doesn't update your customers. It doesn't have the same pictures and layouts and control and mobile. What do you mean Facebook is your website? Blew my mind, right? So all of a sudden that was the case. And so I'm going through this thinking this is going to be a dream. Half these people don't have websites. Half of them have terrible websites. I'm going to come in and solve this problem. And then people are telling me, I don't need a website. Facebook is my website. Well, that's two sides of the same coin, the same problem, which I was soon to realize. So what I understood to be my biggest problem was all based around this concept of the jobs to be done. And if you've never heard of the jobs to be done concept, it's what is actually fuels a customer's decision-making process. So what's an example of that in very clear terms? If you sell drills, then you expect that your competitors are going to be other people who sell drills, right? Wrong. If you sell drills, you're solving a problem. Your problem that you're solving is people need to put that screw into the wall. You've got a drill. How else can you put a screw into a wall? Well, there's tons of ways. You can use a screwdriver. You can pound it with your fist. Well, I probably couldn't, but somebody maybe could. You don't even need to use a drill. Maybe you use like the 3M hangers that stick to the wall. There are all sorts of other ways to solve that problem, because what's happening is the customer has a job to be done. That means they have a problem and a job to be done. There are multiple ways to solve that problem, and there are multiple ways to accomplish that job. So one of the things that happens is we think our competition are people who solve the problem in the same way. So your competition is not just the person or product in the same category as you. Your competition is anything that solves the same problem that you have, which means my competition was Facebook in the minds of these customers, because they said there's a place online that represents my business. It's my Facebook page. Therefore, I don't need a website. The people who didn't have websites said, I do flyers, local radio ads, and newspaper ads. That gets my name out in the community. I don't need a website. Now, we can disagree, and as a marketing person, I certainly disagree with that line of logic, but I wasn't prepared with my marketing materials, my sales materials, to make that argument every single time. It caught me off guard. I was ready to argue against worse websites and why our website was better, right? Not against things that weren't websites in the first place. And that was the key to unlocking a whole bunch of success for the business, was understanding its jobs to be done. My website solves a problem. Other websites solve that problem by being a website, but other things are going to solve the problem. What's the problem I'm solving? Awareness, local visibility, all of that. Those are the problems I'm solving. And so my competition is anything that's attempting to solve those same problems, not just the things that are solving those problems in the same way. And once I understood that, our sales took off because we were able to make the argument from a sales team and marketing perspective against why those things did not solve the problem in the best way possible for a customer. And that was the key, was to actually explain and describe what our solution did and why it was the best way to solve that job. Just like a drill is a lot better than Keegan over here banging a nail against the wall. But until somebody's educated me on that process and I know there's a better way, I don't understand why I would pay more to have the job done with that solution as opposed to the one I'm already using. And your competition is always the status quo at first. If you like this video, hit that subscribe, hit that like, because we're teaching you ways to grow and manage your small business, especially if you're a local business, trying to get started, trying to grow, trying to get visibility. And hey, stick around, because in the next videos, we're going to teach you how to use AI and local SEO and a ton of cool stuff to accelerate your business growth. We'll catch you in the next video.